I am Saint Therese. My feast day is October 1st. I lived from 1873 to 1897. I am the patron saint of florists and gardeners. My greatest gift were my concentration. I died of tuberculosis at age 24. The sisters I lived with were not perfect, but I love them as much as I love Christ.
I'm St. John the Baptist. My feast day is August. I'm St. John the Baptist. My feast day is August 29th. I lived in the 1st century. I baptized Jesus. I spent my youth in the wilderness preparing for his mission. As a prophet, I spoke out against the sins of King Herod.
I'm St. Anna. My feast day is December 9th. I lived during the 11th century BC. I am the patron saint of Shiloh's wives. Hannah promised to dedicate Samuel to God. Hannah gave birth to a son named Samuel. Samuel needs ask from God.
I'm St. Lucy. My feast day is December 13th. I live from 283 AD, 304 AD. I am the patron saint of the blind. In 1981, grave robbers stole my whole body but left my head. I was executed by the government. I was tortured by having my eyes torn out.
I am St. Bethany. My feast day is April 16th. I am St. Bethany. My feast day is April 16th. I lived from 1844 to 1879. I am the patron saint of sick and poor. My family was very poor and lived in an old basement of an old building. I had asthma and was in poor health all my life. Beginning on February 11, 1858, I had 18 virgins and Mary at a grotto river. Mary instructed me to have a chapel built there where pilgrims could wish and drink from a spring. The spring appeared when I dug in the ground. I'm St. Maria Grady. My feast is July 6th. I lived from 1890 to 1902. I'm the patron saint of youth and teenage girls. Few lived the saints have touched the heart of people as much as mine. At the age of 12, I was stabbed to death for refusing to commit a sin. I was born in Italy and moved on my family's farm. I never went to school. I had deeply forgotten.
I'm St. Teresa. My feast day is October 1st. I lived until I was 24. I was a patron saint of headache sufferers and writers. I died when I was 24 years old. I was the little flower. I was known as the little flower of Jesus. I was the 33rd daughter doctor of the church.
I am Saint Joan of Arc. My feast day is May 30th. I live from 1412 to 1431. I am the patron saint of France. When Joan traveled, she cut her hair and dressed to look like a man. She revealed visions of Archangel Michael to help France. She was canonized in 1920, roughly 500 years after her death.
I'm St. John Capistrano. My feast day is October 23rd. I live from 1386 to 1456. I am the patron saint of military chaplains. I was born in Italy. I was known for the soldier saint. I died from the bubonic plague.
My name is St. Dominic. My feast day is August 8th. I live from 1170 to 1221. I am the patron saint of astronomers. I founded the Order of Dominicans. I met St. Francis of Assisi. Anyone who spoke to me went away happy.
I am St. Vincent de Paul. My feast day is September 27th. I lived from 1581 to 1660. I am the patron saint of charities. I was born to a poor peasant family. I was once accused of stealing over 400 pounds by my roommate, but God knew the truth and I was innocent. People still donate items to St. Vincent de Paul charities.
I am Saint Katerina Tekakwizna. My feast day is July 14th. I am the patron saint of nature. I lived from 1656 to 1680. I lived in an Indian village. My parents passed away when I was young from smallpox. I lived with my uncle until I devoted my life to God and Jesus. I'm St. Francis. My feast day is April 24th. I lived in 1577 to April 24th, 1622. I'm the patron saint of lawyers. I was born in Sigerman, Frosted. I'm a man of many names. Mark Boy is my Baptist name. Fidelis is my religious name. My nickname is Poor Man's Lawyer. All my life I helped the poor. I always tried to do what was right. I established myself as a lawyer and took cases that upheld the cause of the poor and the oppressed.
I'm St. Patrick. My feast day is on the 17th. I am the patron saint of Ireland. At the age of 16, I was captured by. I am St. Patrick. My feast day is March 17th. I am the patron saint of Ireland. At the age of 16, I was captured by Irish pirates and taken to Ireland for 6 years. I worked as a shepherd. I turned to God. I escaped. I became a bishop and went back to Ireland to preach about Jesus.
I am St. Rose of London. My feast day is August 23rd. I am the patron saint of Latin America. I left pepper on my face. I quit eating meat. I burn my hands as an act of penance.
I am St. Patrick. My feast day is March 17th. I lived during the 5th century.
I am the patron saint of Ireland. I lived in Ireland for 6 years. I was a shepherd. I made all the snakes in Ireland go away. I'm St. Luke. My feast day is October 18th. I lived during the 1st century. I'm the patron saint of doctors and artists. I was a Greek doctor, but people know me best as an evangelist. I was one of the gospel writers. I died at the age of 87.
I am St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. My feast day is January 4th. I lived from 1774 to 1821. I am the patron saint of Catholic schools and widows. I grew up very strong Protestant family. They would have very little to do with anyone Catholic. She was the founder of the Sisters of Charity, the first American religious society. She had 5 children. Her husband died of tuberculosis.
I am St. Paul. My feast day is June 29th. I lived in the 1st century. I am the patron saint of the lay apostle. I once helped the Christians in jail. I was convinced that no one could be baptized and did not have to follow Jewish rules. My name was Saul until I got blinded by Jesus. I died at age 67.
I am St. Sebastian. My feast day is January 20th. I lived from 256 AD to 288. I am the patron saint of soldiers and athletes. St. Sebastian was a martyr. St. Sebastian was tied to a tree and used as a live target for the archers to shoot. St. Sebastian was not killed by arrows. He was beat to death by the king's knights, and the king ran over him with his horse.
I am St. Michael. My feast day is September 29th. I am the patron saint of policemen. I am usually pictured as strong and youthful, clothed in armor and wearing sandals. I am the main fighter in the battle against Satan. I am an archangel.
My name is St. Andrew. My feast day is November 30th. I lived during the 1st century. I was easy to approach, and you can trust me. My cross was in the shape of an X. The name Andrew means courageous and manly. I am St. Solomon. My feast day is April 24th. I lived during the time of Jesus. I am the patron saint of Verily, Italy. I am probably the sister of the Virgin Mary. My whole family is a saint, and I am the mother of St. James and St. John.
I am St. Francis of Assisi. My feast day is October 4th. I lived from 1182 to 1226. I am the patron saint of animals. I set up the first known nativity scene on Christmas in 1220. I received a stigmata September 19th, 1224. I died while singing Psalms 141.
I'm St. Francis of Assisi. My feast day is October 4th. I live from 1181 to 1226. I'm the patron saint of animals and the environment. Churches hold ceremonies to bless animals on my feast day. I made the first flag Christmas decoration. I love animals and the environment. I'm Saint Cecilia. My feast day is November 22nd. I lived in the 2nd century. I am the patron saint of music. I converted my husband and his brother to the faith. I died as a martyr. And a basilica in Rome built in my honor. I'm St. Nicholas. My feast day is December 6th. I lived in the 4th century, died 350. I transformed into Santa Claus. I took a bag of gold and gave it to a poor man to help his daughters. About 400 churches in England alone are named for me. I am St. Andrew. My feast day is November 30th. I am the patron saint of fishermen, and I died on an X-shaped cross. And I was Jesus' first disciple, and I was at the Last Supper.
I am St. John Paul II. My feast day is October 22nd. I lived from 1920 to 2005. I am a patron saint of World Youth Day. I am the first non-Italian pope in 455 years. My mother, brother, and sister all died before I was 12 years old. I never finished school.